Oh, hi, it's Opine PanAnning. Welcome you back to Let's Badly Dub Trials and Tribulations.
A
Alright.
very late installment, but that's fine.
Yep.
We're both on vacation.
Yeah, pretty much. But let us continue with this. The court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution called Miss Dahlia Arthur to the stand.
Oh boy. Oof. Hmm. What's with all this stiff silence? And literally, stiff silence. I'm a little confused as a judge. I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I admit you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe she actually said that.
Now then, witness, could you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything wrong, you can be sure I'll cut them right out to size.
And I will bash them with my gavel. I just love how they look straight at me when they say that.
Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. Almost feel like you're at home.
Not at all.
It was nothing. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation?
My name is Dolly Arthur. I'm a junior in literature at the Ivy University. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine. Well, we all know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Damn right.
Damn right, it's better
Sir?
than yours. No.
Is there something I can help you with?
You just go on and say whatever it is on your mind.
I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it.
Yes, yes, I can see why you say that. Oh, she's going to be a tough witness, alright. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. If you please. what? What I witnessed.
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Doogie, they were talking behind the building. And suddenly, Doogie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other student and they called the authorities.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady? As old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, this is my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth.
But I would never.
That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies.
You haven't changed a bit? Me, Faye.
What's this? So you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before. Once. In any case, please, Miss Faye, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madame Faye.
Madame, I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. What you got cooking in your oven? Talking to... Yeah, hold it. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own?
Yes.
In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right?
I was watching the whole time. Maybe did anything to do with it.
If I press her for no good reason, I'll just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Show contraction. Slam. Feeble eyes are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne. So let's drop them, shall we?
What? I would never.
Miss Faye, hold on, I don't want you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. Slam. It has already been shown that the Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim.
What?
There's no need to try to cover it for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw.
Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony.
Looks like we're finally getting somewhere.
Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed me.
This statement, too. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you?
I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation.
Give me a break.
That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I like the sub that. Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Contradiction. Sorry, contraction.
No, you had the right word. Contradiction.
Contraction. You say you
Contradiction.
didn't. Contraction. You say you didn't hear any noise.
Contradiction.
Contraction. Is that correct?
Contradiction.
You're not even in this game.
I'm back from the dead to tell you contradiction.
Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me.
Mr. Von Karma, please don't wag that finger. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise.
He said that?
Slam, if you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise wasn't all that memorable.
Action. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression.
Ah!
May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
Another reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up, and it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. The sky continued to flash and rumble.
Thunder and lightning, huh?
Very, very frightening me. Yeah, I'm gonna to see that line instead of this. So I put my info dock to block it out.
Well, Your Honor,
She was listening to Imagine Dragons.
as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change the whole case. There was lightning.
Yep.
Slam. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now is not the time for a science lesson, Mrs. Fay. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? Oh! I must admit that thought did not occur to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? Anyways, I don't even want to know that. Slam, this entire case was built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself was mistaken. The defense believes that the Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. It appears that the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the defense was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'd be taking that not guilty now if you don't.
I've heard that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location.
What?
What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
Who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out the court this testimony of the pharmacology student. All equipment in the lab lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All of the lab's equipment run at high voltage, Your Honor. Danger, danger, high voltage.
So you're saying that the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because they severed the electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
which fits with the time of death listed in this autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable.
Rubber.
According to the student, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Student's testimony added to the court record. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it would have snapped and haven't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Yeah. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a large sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds about right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage.
Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. It was that very shot that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
Objection. I'm afraid I can't agree with your there, Mr. Payne.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but that doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he could have been electrocuted by this severed cable in the foreground here.
Ah!
Slam. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order in the court! Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant would have done it.
Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. He said some things that are a little different than I remembered it.
What the?
Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time, please, Mr. Judge?
Of course it's alright. And just go right ahead and give me your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors.
The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. The first one was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. And then he tried his best to run away from him. But Feeney caught him and pushed him and ran far behind. The cable snapping and then being electrocuted. It all occurred in less than a minute.
So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that is when the defendant pushed him from the second time.
I'm so sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination. What I witnessed, part 2. Should be very simple here. First time was the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. I believe this is here. Oh, I was slightly blind there for a second there. That's enough, witness.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture?
Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeney likes to take for his cold.
It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time when the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Fay? Slam. My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Ah!
Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Delia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Order in the court. What is this all about?
This is nonsense. The real murderer?
Even if you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window of opportunity for the real killer. Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. What's the real killer?
I accuse the judge.
He's not a selection, unfortunately. It could have been you, Delia Hawthorne.
How can you?
The defense is grabbing at straws.
Slim. 10 minutes passed between the time when the cable broke and the time of electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it harder to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order! Miss Faye! What is this? That is the same. Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed the Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands.
How can you say something so mean, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything.
Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge. You are... Oh no. Your Honor, please, I've something to want to say. You, what is it? Please strike everything the defense said just now from the record. What in the... Are you daft? You are totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Leave my Dolly alone.
Leave her alone.
That boy.
No.
He's got on himself and way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
I had a bit of a hiccup there. It seems I arrived just in the nick of time. From the police report on that, they said that your newspaper clipping.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grossberg. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Better take a good look at it. It details how you came to use LeBron's friend.
Now then. I had a hiccup too. Now then, the defense had made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor,
May I interrupt you just for a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Don't you worry, my dear. I have this situation well in hand. Go right ahead.
Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet doggy?
Yes, I am. Not only that, I'm saying that you murdered Dog Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead.
Can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to flame it is ludicrous. This is just too much for my poor little me to bear.
Ah, I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Delia Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
The witness claims that she had no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Slam. Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, had a very good reason. Very well then. But the court presses the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge.
Get ready for the battle of your life, Delia Hawthorne. I love the allegro music of this game.
I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in our very courthouse basement reading. The moment our eyes met, our hearts skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day.
That's you.
We were so lovey, we may literally make the people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
I'm so used to seeing the days of my youth. Go get her!
Bang it from the side. Yeah. So until that time you had been dating Doug Swallow?
Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions fade so quickly. I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me. I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Ho 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 ho. Maybe you should look into a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always endows the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judge Genie.
Press. The Courthouse Reading Room. That's a strange place to meet the love of your life.
That's so true, Madame Faye. After all, Feeny wasn't only an art student, but he was also planning on...
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case. I have to remember that the judge is on Dahlia's side. I have better tread carefully. Let's press. Slam. Your Honor, if you allow me some latitude, I think I could establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well. Young lady, I have got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases your honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing.
Writing a paper on what?
On the relationship between modern scenery and poetry and the criminal underworld.
Oh ho ho! That does sound like a fascinating research idea.
Am I getting old? No, I've even forgotten what I've forgotten.
Again with the midlife crisis stuff?
Mia, where did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so be sure to read it carefully.
Mm-hmm. Because that police report is the thing I need. Police report. Yeah. Objection. Slam. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because you were for your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason?
What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye?
8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy.
Another tragedy?
Do you mean the incident with which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect is in that innocent incident was listed here in this report. And that name is Delia Hawthorne.
What?
Delia Hawthorne. Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Delia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in the criminal case just 8 months ago. Order! This is unbelievable. It's true then. The loveliest rose can.
Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not allow it.
Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Pardon me. Go right ahead.
It's true that about 8 months ago, police expressed some interest in me.
Expressive interest, huh?
It's not sure. I know I'm on the road, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago.
I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I just got to stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. Oh, you really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks. I can only tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids.